Welcome to Inspire the Vision. Today, we're diving into one of the most controversial and unsettling topics in modern technology. This covert tool, developed by the Israeli cyber intelligence company NSO Group, has become a symbol of surveillance, privacy invasion, and political manipulation. As we explore the intricate world of Pegasus, we'll uncover its origins, capabilities, and the alarming impact it's had on individuals and governments across the globe. The origins of Pegasus. To understand the gravity of Pegasus, we must first look at its origins. The NSO Group, founded in 2010, operates in the shadows of the cyber world. Their goal was clear: to create sophisticated software that could be used to track and monitor terrorist activities. The intention behind their flagship product, Pegasus, was to provide governments with a powerful tool to combat criminal networks and thwart terrorism. However, like many technological advancements, the tool's potential for misuse became evident far too quickly. Pegasus, named after the mythical winged horse, was designed to be the ultimate surveillance tool. Unlike traditional spyware, which requires a user to click on a malicious link or download an infected file, Pegasus can be installed remotely without the target ever knowing. The spyware can infect both iPhones and Android devices, exploiting vulnerabilities in the operating system itself. This ability to silently breach highly secure devices is what makes Pegasus so dangerous. How Pegasus works. The silent infiltration. Once Pegasus successfully infiltrates a device, its capabilities are nothing short of alarming. The spyware can access almost every part of the phone, including calls, messages, contacts, photos, and even encrypted communications from apps like WhatsApp and Signal. It can turn on the microphone and camera, allowing attackers to listen in on conversations and watch people without their knowledge. Essentially, it transforms a private device into a live surveillance tool, and all of this happens without the user ever suspecting anything is amiss. One of the most chilling aspects of Pegasus is its ability to exploit zero-day vulnerabilities. These are security flaws in software that the device's manufacturer or the public is unaware of. Once Pegasus identifies these vulnerabilities, it uses them to inject itself into the system without triggering any security alerts. The process is so sophisticated that even when software updates are available, they may not be able to remove the spyware. The reach of Pegasus. Targets and victims. The reach of Pegasus is vast, and its victims range from journalists to human rights activists, political leaders to business executives. The spyware has been used by governments around the world to monitor and silence critics. For example, investigative journalists, who often uncover corruption or expose abuse of power, have found themselves among the most frequent targets of Pegasus. The spyware allows those in power to track their movements, intercept their communications, and gather sensitive information about their sources and ongoing investigations. In some cases, activists fighting for democratic freedoms have been monitored by governments who view them as a threat. Human rights organizations have also reported that Pegasus has been used to spy on individuals advocating for change in oppressive regimes. The spyware has allowed oppressive governments to suppress dissent, monitor social movements, and even locate individuals who have been critical of their rule. What makes this even more troubling is the growing list of countries where Pegasus has been deployed. While its initial use was largely concentrated in countries with authoritarian regimes, the spyware has spread to democratic nations as well. High-profile cases of surveillance targeting political opposition. Journalists and activists have raised alarms about the erosion of privacy rights and the growing potential for government overreach. The ethics and controversy surrounding Pegasus. The ethical implications of Pegasus spyware cannot be overstated. At its core, Pegasus is a tool of mass surveillance, one that violates the fundamental rights to privacy and freedom of expression. It has raised significant concerns about the balance between national security and individual rights. While it's true that governments need the tools to combat terrorism, and organized crime using such powerful technology against political dissidents, journalists, and human rights defenders is a violation of basic democratic principles. In recent years, there has been intense debate over the role of companies like NSO Group. While NSO claims that its software is intended solely for use by governments to track criminals and terrorists, numerous reports have shown that it has been used far beyond its intended purpose. Governments have deployed Pegasus to monitor opposition leaders, suppress political movements, and even spy on foreign diplomats. This has led to widespread condemnation, with many arguing that the line between legitimate surveillance and authoritarian control has been permanently blurred. One of the most controversial aspects of Pegasus is the secrecy surrounding its sales and use. NSO Group has been accused of selling its software to regimes with poor human rights records, knowing that it could be used to stifle dissent. The company has insisted that it only sells Pegasus to trusted governments, but the evidence suggests otherwise. The lack of transparency regarding who can access and use the spyware has raised concerns about accountability, and many have called for greater regulation of the global surveillance industry. The impact of Pegasus on journalism. One of the most high-profile aspects of the Pegasus scandal has been its impact on journalism. Reporters investigating corruption, human rights abuses, and political misconduct have long been a target for surveillance. With Pegasus, these journalists are not just under surveillance. They are completely vulnerable. The spyware's ability to track their communications and movements poses a grave threat to their safety and the integrity of their work. Pegasus has made journalists increasingly fearful about their digital security. In many cases, reporters have been unaware that their devices were compromised until the damage had already been done. Confidential sources have been exposed, sensitive information has been leaked, and in some tragic cases, journalists have been put at risk for their reporting. The global outcry over Pegasus has been a wake-up call for the journalism community, prompting media outlets to adopt new cybersecurity measures to protect their staff. The case of Jamal Khashoggi, a tragic example. Perhaps the most notorious case involving Pegasus is that of Jamal Khashoggi, the Saudi journalist and Washington Post columnist who was murdered in 2018. Investigations revealed that Khashoggi's phone was targeted with Pegasus spyware by the Saudi government just before his death. This revelation shocked the world and highlighted the lengths to which authoritarian regimes are willing to go to silence dissent. Khashoggi's tragic death, and the role Pegasus played in tracking his movements, brought the dangers of the spyware into sharp focus. It demonstrated how easily governments could use sophisticated surveillance tools to monitor and eliminate their critics. His murder became a symbol of the growing threat to press freedom and the protection of journalists in an increasingly authoritarian world, the growing call for regulation and accountability. As the full scale of Pegasus's abuse has come to light, there has been a growing call for international regulation of surveillance technologies. Experts argue that there needs to be a global framework for controlling the sale and use of powerful spyware like Pegasus. Governments, tech companies, and human rights organizations must work together to ensure that such tools are used responsibly and ethically. There is also increasing pressure on companies like NSO Group to be held accountable for their role in enabling surveillance abuses. Some have called for the company to be blacklisted or even prosecuted, while others argue for more transparency regarding its operations. The issue is complicated by the fact that spyware companies often operate in legal gray areas, making it difficult to prosecute them for actions that may be deemed unethical but not necessarily illegal. The future of privacy in a surveillance world. As we look to the future, the rise of tools like Pegasus represents a growing challenge to privacy and civil liberties. The boundaries between security and control are becoming increasingly blurred, and individuals are left to wonder how much of their lives are being monitored without their knowledge or consent. The digital age has brought about unprecedented convenience, but it has also created new risks. Every message, every call, every location can be tracked by the right technology in the wrong hands. In response, activists and privacy advocates are calling for stronger protections against surveillance. Encryption, Anonymity tools and decentralized technologies are all part of the solution. However, these measures can only do so much to protect individuals in a world where powerful surveillance tools are proliferating at an alarming rate. As surveillance technology advances, so too must our understanding of privacy rights and the need for robust protections against abuse. A call for awareness and action. As we wrap up this deep dive into the world of Pegasus spyware, one thing is clear: the threat it poses to privacy, freedom of expression, and democracy cannot be ignored. It's a reminder that the digital age is not just a time of incredible technological advancement. It is also a time of unprecedented vulnerability. Governments, corporations, and individuals alike must remain vigilant against the potential for abuse and work together to ensure that technologies like Pegasus are used only for legitimate purposes and in ways that respect the fundamental rights of all people. Thank you for joining us in this exploration of Pegasus spyware. If you found this video insightful, please consider subscribing to inspire the vision for more thought-provoking discussions. Your support means the world to us, and we look forward to seeing you in the next video. Stay safe, stay informed, and take care.